Dr. V.R. Veeramaneni Venugopal Rao. Dr. V.R. Venugopal Rao is a Vastu and astrology consultant. He is the founder of IITA, an institute of Indian traditional architecture. First, ISO 10002 2018 certified Vastu and astrology consultation. World's first corporate, commercial and industrial Vastu consultant, having a triple PhD in chemistry, Vastu sciences and astrology, with 2 decades of corporate and industrial professional experience, 3 decades of Vastu and astrology practical experience. He is a specialist in planning of new buildings for residential, corporate, commercial, industry as per traditional and advanced Vastu principles, and also by considering 5 elements, 16 directions, 32 entrances, and 45 divine powers. He is an expert in correcting of Vastu defects in the existing buildings without any physical alterations, using elemental balance theory and by using principle of right to activities at the right place. He provides best solutions for health, wealth, relationships and professional problems. We welcome you here, Dr. Veeramaneni ji. Yeah.
Good evening all. Actually, I am very blessed to have in front of eminent professional astrologer and Vastu consultants here. And I'm blessed to have standing on the stage and blessed by Sri Ravi Shankar ji. Sir, I'm taking privilege to request. This is a panel members group 1. The first group, Raman Suprajarama, is coming, please, sir. And Sahasra Bodhi ji, group 1. And Sanjay Reddy, you are the group 1, please, if you don't mind. Please come, these 3 people one side. Raman Suprajarama and Sahasra Bodhi ji and Sanjay Reddy. You can move that side, Kamaji. Yeah, please. Excuse me for troubling you all. Morning, Gurudev ji mentioned we need to discuss what is Shastrarth, what is the Vastu Shastra. So I made it 5 sections, 5 questions for each group. Before that, each and every question, I'll brief about science, then I'll pose the question, and audience also will get a chance to ask the question and participate in the discussion. First question is Vastu science and evolution and revolution. The first group will talk about evolution of the Vastu science, and second group talk about what is the revolution we are observing nowadays. Before that, I'll run few minutes. What is the Vastu? Vastu is simple, establishing the harmony between nature and people, all human beings and nature. The nature contains 5 elements. Nature contains 5 elements. We should be close to nature when you live without any problem. Because many people talk about introductions about Vastu, just I'm running this one. When you go to nature, we find 5 elements: space, water, air, fire, earth. These are 5 elements. And a Vastu defines single definition, balancing of 5 elements. The way we balance our body 5 elements to keep good health, the same way you need to balance 5 elements in any building. Keep wealth, prosperity in any building of total family members, any building, total workers and industry, employees in the company, we need to maintain the 5 elements. Same way, simple definition, very simple, right activities, right place. As the principles of Vastu Shastra says, what to do, what not to do, we need to follow. We are not following where Revolution team is taking care further to discuss on that. Another Vastu, what Samarangana Sutradhar says about Vastu. Vastu gives kinds of happiness, wealth, wisdom, and peace. It gives some freedom from debts and health problems. Then our basic purpose of ancient Indian sciences talks Ayurveda, Yoga and Vastu. Ayurveda talk about state of body. Ayurveda talks about state of body. And Yoga talk about state of mind. And Vastu talks about state of the place where you live. These three are perfect. We are perfect. So we sync together Yoga, Ayurveda and Vastu. Then coming to when Vastu started, very nice presentation given our Niranjanji. Then it is there in Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and all Yugas it is there wherever. Then skipping that slide, I'm going to the Vastu started from Lord Brahma, explained to Garga, Garga to the Parashara, Parashara to Brahadarda, Brahadarda to Vishwakarma, and Vishwakarma brought to Vastu the world, universe. Then what Matsya Purana says, there are 19 founders, but Agni Purana says 25 founders, and the Manasara says 32 founders. There's a name I gave you, I can share later. Then Vedas, Puranas, classical, ancient, wherever you go in the ancient sciences, Vastu mentioned. Vastu is a science because of that it is mentioned when human being existing. Then I give some citation here, Vishwakarma, Vastu, homes and towns, Samaravana Sutradhar, Manasara, Vishwakarma, Vasyastra, Vishwakarma, Prakashika, and Maya Vastu. Each and every book explains even topic of the Vastu. Manasara, it is a 70 slokas book. That's a DPR of Ayodhya, DPR. Detailed project report of the Ayodhya. That is a Manasara. Then Puranas take a Matsya Purana, 2252 chapter, explain about the Om Vastu. Skanda Purana, Maheshwara Kanda, Vishwana Kanda, explain of towns and temples. If you do the Garuda Purana, 35, 46, 47, 48 chapters explain about king palaces. And Agni Purana, 13 chapter explain Vastu, homes, reservoirs. And Bhavishya Purana, 3rd chapter talks about Vastu introduction. So Agamas, it has all the citations. It is really Vastu evaluation from the human being existing on earth. This is a citation. This another Rigveda, Yajurveda in 17th BC, Agamas and 12th BC, which part of India is developed. There is a citations are given in the slide. Then final slide, Vastu is a part of Jyotish, Jyotish Vedanga. If you take the Jyotish, it has 5 parts of Jyotish, Siddhanta, Shakuna, Hora, Prashna, and Samhita. If you go to Samhita, it has a Shanti, Swapna, Gochara, Samudrika, and Muhurta. Also, Vastu. Vastu is a science. Vastu is a science. How we need not talk about, prove it now. It is a proven. Now question comes to the team 1. Hemanji, Siseraji, and okay. Team 1. Evolution from the ancient days. What is the exactly evolution from the ancient days of the Vastu Shastra? It is 15 minutes time to 15 to 20 minutes time only. You will get 10 to 10 minutes and they will get 10 minutes of the second question. One of the 3 can participate and talk about to bring some awareness to audience and including us.
So what we're going to do, the format is we're going to have 2 teams over here. So the first team will speak on the evolution of Vastu from the ancient days. And the second team will talk about the revolution, what it is causing in the current scenario. So we'll give you around 4 to 5 minutes to discuss among yourself, and one representative can voice your opinion outside to the audience. Yeah? So team A, this is team 1, right? Yeah. That is team 1. So your topic will be the evolution of Vastu since ancient days. And team 2 is the revolution that it can cause, it is causing in the current scenario. Yeah.
The evolution, it looks like my team is limping along because my 2 colleagues here say they are not aware so much about the history. So let me give a brief idea of it. From what little I know, as much as I know. One of the first things I want to talk about, which from the morning I've been itching to say, is that many people here are talking heavily about the texts. And before we talk about the text, I just want to say one small thing here. This actually, Ganapati Stapati has told me this many times. And I will say it in Tamil, the way he told it to me, and then I will explain it in English. முதல்ல இலக்கியம் வந்தது அப்புறம் தான் இலக்கணம். இலக்கணத்தை வச்சுண்டு இலக்கியம் படைக்க முடியாது. So, first came literature and only then grammar. Using a textbook of grammar, you cannot write literature. So, the text is not what came first. Human experience with their habitat is definitely the first step. And then over time, it has got assimilated into the cultural consciousness or the human collective consciousness, and then it gets recorded. This has been the process for everything. So first is the experience. And experience is always in celebration with nature. It is not in exclusion. You're not sitting in isolation somewhere and saying this must be a house. It doesn't work like that. You're celebrating your reality with your relationship with nature. Okay? So all this stuff about south facing, north slope, etc., is a later addition. Actually, human habitations, as Michael will also be able to give you the background of the history of architecture as we have studied it, all civilizations have understood from watching the habitat of birds and animals. That is the first step. Otherwise, human beings were in caves. When they started building, they actually watched other natural phenomena and how it responded to nature. Any self-respecting bird will not build on the windward slope. It will only build on the leeward slope, because the nest will get blown off. It's very simple. I live in the hills and I can tell you how many foolish people are building in the wrong places and actually their houses are getting flooded away. It is because they don't understand the lie of the land. So Vastu Shastra definitely has happened out of an understanding of nature. This is number one. Number two is that the idea of the written text is very foreign to Indians. It was always an oral transference. That has been our tradition. Even the recorded manuscript on the Ole Chavadi or the palm leaf is a much later addition. So, for example, Ganapati Stapati has talked to me about the written document of Mayamatam in the palm leaf, which has been in the families for generations, and it was rewritten. There is no one Mayamatam. Please note. There have been many Mayamatams. So what we know now is the latest version of it. There are many, many, many versions. And each generation, based on their field experience, has also corrected the text. So please note, these have been done by the practitioners. They themselves had their own scholars. So today, we are actually separating the scholarship and the application, which I think itself is a wrong sort of understanding of the tradition. I think it is very critical that we understand how the practitioner has understood his own field experience, and this has been assimilated almost osmotically by them and embodied into their activity. Otherwise, they could never have created those amazing buildings that they talked about this morning. Those, for example, the Ellora, no team of people could have been able to achieve something like that unless it had been embodied. This kind of natural understanding of material, the way in which the stratification has taken place over centuries in a natural material, where to cut it so that it will open out into its natural form in the simplest manner with the least amount of pressure and so on, comes only out of an embodied understanding. And this happens only through experience, not by reading a text. The text is only to help you, assist you. It cannot be the modus operandi.
I really can't add anything to that. That is, I think less words on this is better. That's a perfect answer to that. Thank you.
When we speak about the evolution, I can say this Vastu evaluated from the day one when Big Bang has happened. In Manasara, there is one small sukti is there. It is called Vastureva Vastu. What Vastu means, it is made up of Vastu. What is Vastu? Every atom is a Vastu. That means Vastu is there everywhere. Even in a small atomic particle also Vastu is there. Not necessarily in the building, not necessarily in the street, not necessarily in the human body. Our mind, every atom contains Vastu, it says. Regarding evolution, I can just say whether the egg has come first or chicken has come first. We can't answer it. When Niranjan Babu sir said, Vastu was there even in Dwapara Yuga and Traitra Yuga and all, that means it is much in Yuga means millions of years earlier. At that time only it has been evolved means, I think there is no point in discussing when it is evolved, whether 3,000 years or 5,000 years or whether this, that and all that. And no doubt, now scriptures have come. It is earlier there were no scripts, papers or something. Naturally, mouth to mouth, it used to propagate. Finally, someone started documenting that one for the benefits of the others. Therefore, evolution is a process, I can say, from day one of our earth existence it has come. Therefore, we need not bother about when it has evaluated or something. It is a gradual process which has come up to this juncture.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think Team B will give their opinion. Okay, Mr.
Just
Michael.
one last point. It was mentioned that it came from the observation of nature. That was a beautiful point. Also, Stapati mentioned that it also came from the observation of inner silence, that the architect goes within and cognizes the structure of that silence and how that inner silence manifests into substance. So that would be another aspect of the evolution of Vastu, from that inner silence that we all know that is the foundation of the whole universe, and then how that silence manifests itself, the pathways that it takes, the laws that it follows to manifest substance. That would be the other aspect of the evolution of Vastu.
Thank you, Ms.
Yeah, that gives me one small thing I need to add. That's beautiful, Michael. I just want to add something to this, which is not connected to Vastu Shastra, but it's connected to Ayurveda. The Variyar of the Kottakkal Vari Vaidyashala, the elderly man who passed away, many years ago, a group of German doctors came to check with him how did the pharmacopoeia of Ayurveda evolve. So they asked him, you're talking about so many lakhs of medications that are taken from nature, how did you arrive at it? So he said, if we had followed your European method of testing something on somebody and seeing if they die or they live, and then we find out whether this can be patented, it would have taken us 30 million years to get what we have. So he says there is a process which is connected to what Michael just said. He says that when somebody comes to me with an illness that I don't know anything about, and asks me for a solution, I become deeply inward and meditative, and I say to that person, look, I don't know this, come back to me in 3 days. And then the man goes away, or that woman goes away, and he says, I walk into the forest, into the silence of the forest, deeply troubled by this illness that this man has talked to me about. And this trouble and this angst that I am struggling with manifests in my communicating this to the nature around me. And the plant calls to me and says, use me. And he says, this is the only way Ayurveda could have done what it has done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a very nicely put across to us.
In continuation to what ma'am said as evolution, now to speak on revolution. I was structural engineer, no way concerned with this Vastu Shastra at all. Our group of 4 architects said that this Vastu Shastra is creating a lot of trouble to us in planning. Some stupidity they always tell us. And literally, major Vastu experts are like that only, who are no way concerned to the space or grid planning or anything. So they said that you are highly learned from IISc Bangalore, you know the modern science, right from childhood you are connected to the astrology and in Yoga Shastra. So if you prove, means it is proved that Vastu Shastra is false. So that's why they had put up me over there in early 88, 89. So what I said that I will not do flatly say something like, let's go by some statistical survey. So we selected 100 such structures where premature deaths have happened, like murders, suicides, and road accidents. So those 100 flats, bungalows, or whatever we selected, and just a 25 questionnaire was made and given to our assistants. We were very busy. So that questionnaire, physical questionnaire was filled, and all that when came to us after 6 months' time, we read them, connected it with the computers, and we got 4 common conclusions to all the 100 cases. Then we went to one master from Rajamahendri, that is Madhur Krishnamurti, and we showed him all that. He became very happy that young people have come and studying something like that. Then he gave us 10 sutras. Some way good in Sanskrit being I could learn and immediately understand. So those 10 sutras confirmed our 4 conclusions which we found common in all the 100 cases. So in a way, it got proved that Vastu Shastra is true. From there onwards, from our evolution began to learn something. Then being structural engineer, I decided to use, being connected to the modern science, I decided to see what Upapita Rachana says. I was knowing something of Yoga Shastra, so through connecting Yoga Shastra, knowledge of the astrology, as I said, 3-7-11 connection to the West and Rahu Nakshatra and all that, and basic Vastu Shastra, I connected all those 3-4 things together, then made some instrumentation in that, and then we used it on some particular that type of similar houses. But then thereafter, for about 10, 15, now last 20 years, nothing bad has happened to them. That way we proved the remedies as extra addition to improve the environment and the surrounding of those houses. In a way, those vibrations change the eventology connected to that void. Means void got transformed into spaces. That way, our evolution continued. And as such, I already told, I haven't learned from anybody. Now I will learn from you, madam. When you come to Pune, I will be your first student. And I will organize your course of my 100 students. So now my beginning will be there to learn the Vastu Shastra. Thank you.
No, I think the topic is, I'll stick to the topic here, which says revolution in Vastu Shastra. I think that's the main points that was actually asked for. And we have a lot of scholars today who have good command over the subject, who have deeply studied the various classical literatures. For example, you have set of scholars here who thoroughly understand what the scriptures have told, and they try to follow to the T how is this better? Okay. So they follow to the T. What I personally felt is one of the key things that was missing, and that's what I have taken it up as my personal mission, is to make sure Vastu Shastra or Jyotisha or any of these Vedic sciences are relevant to the new modern generation. We today live in a digital generation, right? We no more use slate and book and all. On the other hand, we use WhatsApp, we use Instagram, we use Facebook. I'm sure people like him will be using Tinder, left, right, swipe, all those things. He's using Dhoti? Okay. So, what does it mean to continue to understand the true principles of Vastu Shastra, the spirit of Vastu Shastra, and make it relevant to modern times when a lot of technological advancements have happened? For example, we no more use fire sticks to cook. We instead use gas stoves, right? There's a lot of evolution that has happened. Interestingly, it's not evolution, it's actually a revolution that has happened, right? We use microwaves today, we use fridges, a lot of things that are relevant there. And these also contribute to a lot of energies. It could be positive, it could be negative. It could be in small dosage or it could be in high dosage. I think today what is really required, or what the real need today, is to make the principles of Vastu Shastra very relevant to the modern times, especially in the digital generation that we are in. And if we understand the fundamentals of Vastu Shastra, it is not really about directions, but it is really about how we can align ourselves with nature. And when you understand this, this alignment will work beautifully well when you are in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. Only thing is, the rules might change. For example, the gyrational effect, right? If you go to the northern hemisphere, the gyrational effect is from the right to the left, whereas if you go to the southern hemisphere, it's from the left to the right. Once you understand these fundamental rules and the true spirit behind Vastu Shastra, you will be able to quickly adapt all the latest technology that is coming up to your advantage. I had a privilege of going to US and meeting the Elon Musk's solar roofing, and some amazing work that is being done out there. And that's energy that is being generated. Now, there the principle is very straightforward. We place the tiles wherever the availability of sunlight is. At that point of time, now sloping has to be left to right, right to left, north to east, south to west. All those things should probably be relooked at. And in that true spirit, we have to look at how we can align ourselves to the forces of nature so that it results in good. It doesn't result in anything negative. So I'll just pause here and hand over the mic to...
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, the whole point was about revolution. Is Vastu bringing about a revolution, or is it stagnating us further? Are we going backward? Are we traveling in the wrong direction? You are talking of Vastu and talking of slanting of roofs. I will put a different problem. You go to Texas, somebody meets you and says, I think there is going to be a nuclear holocaust. I have about a few $1 million. Do you think I want to have a house 500 meters deep under the ground? What is the Vastu for that? Does Vastu have an answer? You see, that is where we have to go. We cannot stagnate. We have to push forward. We have to take this knowledge, and India is talking of having the latest aircrafts. Do we have a Vastu for choosing the place where our airfields have to be built and how they have to be built so that they are not bombed by the enemy? We want to send Chandrayaan. Did you know that we have these Yahoo groups, and in one such Yahoo group a date was given, and all the astrologers, they agreed that this particular date chosen is wrong, it will be a failure. Fortunately, it was cancelled, and the next date chosen, again there was discussion, it passed. So that means Jyotish is being used indirectly to inform the scientists out there that, hey, this Murta is not good, choose the other one. Is Vastu also evolving? Can you choose the best site for sending space rockets? You see, that is the revolution that has to come, but it hasn't come till now. We haven't yet fully understood group housing. You're only talking about independent houses, kitchen, this, that. But when you're talking about group housing, the same Vastu should not work. There has to be some kind of a different idea out there. Which floor will suit me? Should we have underground parking for everybody? Is that a good idea? What does Vastu say about that? See, we need rules. And if we cannot be so vague about it anymore. Vastu is quite vague. People, okay, this is good, that is good, this is... We need a codification. You see, I'm an engineer. You cannot continue like this. This is not going to work. This is not an essay. You talk of mass housing, we need code. And that is what Gurudev was hinting at. By the end of this conference, I'm hoping that we will all somewhere start looking inside. Hey, what am I contributing to the future of Vastu? It's not about Vastu today, but where Vastu should be tomorrow. That is important. Are we taking Vastu to the right place? Is it headed in the right direction? Do we have the right books, or they are just stories and stories and stories? Where is the textbook? Am I clear on what I'm pushing at? Thank you.
Thank you all for your contribution. I hope it is a benefit to all of us. I'm taking to next question. Please, I'm requesting everyone make little bit brief and crispy to understand. You are already eminent in the profession and science. Make the brief for the next questions. Next question comes into the Vastu Purusha and divinity. We talk about more always. Always we talk about Vastu Purusha. I'll run some few slides about that. Everybody knows who is the Vastu Purusha. There is a war between Andakasura and Shiva. There is a sweat fall down on the roof. There is a big that's what Akar and Bhavan and all the devatas on to pull towards earth. When they're pulling towards earth, they distributed the places on the Vastu Purusha's body. When they distributed, they made it based on the energies. They made it 18 parts. How they made that? There is a 20 divine powers standing one side, another side 10 divine powers made that they call the Rekha Devatas. Then you can see the 8 to 1 equal parts. Then there are the Rekha Devatas. These are the names. Each and every Devata give very nice positive. When they made energies of 81 to create a place for the 41 Devatas, there is the Rekha Devata starts like Shanta, peace, Yashavati, fame. Like that, all 20 Devatas work to get an energy, positive way in Vastu Purusha. Then there is another Devata called Karna, this different Devatas. There are 8 Devatas worked. There are the Devatas affect a lot positively and negatively. If you are doing a wrong at home, wrong at any building, it takes you into the wrong direction. If you do the good at a home, that takes you good direction. There is each and every Devata, there's own contribution towards energies in a house. Then, I'm running very fast because of time. There's all 81 parts that is divided into the 4 modules. Module 1, Brahma takes second centric for 16 modules. 4 Devatas takes place. And third module, 24, third centric belt 24, fourth is 32. It's a majorly fourth we talk more because fourth is outside, there is outer line of the house, outer line of the Vastu Purusha Mandal, where we talk about the entrances, energies of entrances. Then these are the devatas occupied over Vastu Purusha to control is angry and manage at earth. That Vastu Purusha occupies based on net usable area you construct your building. Net usable area you construct in your building. This is each and every devata has its own significance and strategy and attributes, energy levels. So then my question on this comes into arrangement of the 45 plus powers in any building. Can you talk about exactly if there is a science involved? We talk about always science. This is the Purana says 45 devatas occupied 81 equal spaces. I would like to discuss to bring some science to our audience. Exactly what arrangement of the 45 divine powers, how it works for us. What is significance of the powers in any building? Really, nowadays we are following or not? This is a modern team. This is an ancient team. 1 and 2, please take few minutes to discuss among you. You just talk about the 45 divine powers.
So, the Vastu Purusha Mandala is a map or a pattern of manifestation. And this pattern is found within all substance, and it's found within ourselves. So all of these devatas and these positions, all of these influences are found within ourselves. And a Vastu architect uses that pattern to manifest a physical object or a movement or some music. Like Vastu can be expressed in architecture, in sculpture, in music, in poetry. So the Vastu practitioner uses this map, this Vastu Purusha Mandala, as the pathway to manifestation. And that's found within ourselves too.
Let me add a couple of things to what Michael has said. Almost every kind of symbolic narrative that has been handed to us by our traditional Puranas or Itihasa or any kind of text has several levels of meanings. One is the physical meaning, and then there is the subtler level, and then the extremely subtle level which resonates with the human consciousness. So each one of them is supposed to help you to trigger that area of yourself. So for example, when you walk into a temple and you go through the worship, yes, the worship has a certain order. You have to take certain substances to do the puja for the abhishekam and so on. But there is also an inner worship that is taking place when you're walking into a temple, which means that you are revisiting the chakras in your own body, which is symbolized by first entering and touching the base of the Dvajastambam. Dvajastambam is actually the inner Sushumna Nadi. So you're touching the Mooladhara, and then you're saying, please help me to open out my inner chakras. So you can go through the temple prakara on a sacred journey without actually doing any puja at all. Because there is another layer for which it is creating a space and an energy form. Similarly, the Vastu Purusha Mandala has several layers of meanings. There is a story, there are devatas, and for those of you who don't know about this, the outer ring of the devatas are there with their arms, with their abharana, with their consorts. And as you go deeper and deeper, it is only the masculine and there is no feminine principle there. So actually you're talking about the visible universe on the outer to the invisible or the intangible in the inner. So within our bodies also, it is the outer visible to the inner invisible. Okay? And the other thing that I keep telling all my students, the Vastu Purusha is everywhere. But the Vastu Purusha you have to take into your consideration or your calculation is the one that you are creating a boundary. Without the boundary, there is no Vastu Purusha. He is not important. Once you have created a boundary, which is what is known as a site or a plot, you are bringing alive a certain energy that has been boxed in. That is the significance of the story of the Vastu Purusha being boxed in that fetal position on whom the devatas are seated. It means that he is potent and he is completely inert, unmoving, and has the capacity to move into his divine self when he is unlocked. So the whole thing of the Vastu Muhurtam is that there are certain times during the year when he awakens to his potential, he sits up, he eats, and after he takes the tambulam, which is 1 narika, and after that, you are supposed to do your offering to the Vastu Purusha. It is symbolic. It is basically saying that the earth is filled with energies and you have to call it to work with you, which is what the Yantra, Mantra, Tantra is all about. You have to call the energies to work with you. Only then they will work with you. So you beckon it. You call them by their names. You give them their offerings. And then this energy comes alive for you to work in harmony. So all the pujas, all the rituals that are part of the Vastu system, starting with the Bhumi Puja all the way to Nayana Unmilanam of the image, every part of it has something to do with extracting the potential and making it work with you, in harmony with you, to create greater happiness, fertility, prosperity for the individual human being.
We are running out of time. The Samsung time is going to start. This question will be finished, answer will be finished in next 8 minutes. Another group. And we have the 3 more questions. We postpone to tomorrow. Question on Ayadi, question on directions, 16 or 8 or 10. Discussion tomorrow. What is the elements and how elements can be synced with the Vastu? These are 3 questions are postponing tomorrow. Today, just closing in 5 to 8 minutes because the scheduled program is satsang. Please, I'm requesting guests to finish in next 8 to 10 minutes.
She's already, Team A has given a very good explanation, on what divinity is and all that. But my take on this is slightly different. Absolutely different way of looking at it. Sanskrit. Firstly, the word devata is from the root divu, means light, and light is knowledge. And how do we have knowledge? We have knowledge from words. Where do words come from? They come from alphabets. How many alphabets do we have in Sanskrit? 52. Because these are the 52 body parts of Sati. If you remember, Sati's body parts fell in 52 places. That is why we have 52 alphabets in Sanskrit. Did you know that connection? And how interesting, huh? Exactly 52. And let us say from this 52, I take out the yuktaksharas, like nya, or shall I take out all those nyas and nya. I take those yuktaksharas and I take out 4 syllables. R, 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 those 4, which are actually in heaven. They are not here. R for rishi. They are all in heaven. So we take those 4 out. So 52 minus 2 yuktaksharas, 50 minus 4, 46. So 46 sounds are on earth. How many devatas do we have? How interesting. How interesting. Devata, remember, the root is from sound. And that is exactly what Kamath ji was trying to tell us. Thank you. leave it there.
Jai Gurudev. Since morning, we have been listening to such wonderful wisdom. And we all have been wondering if we can get all this wisdom recorded somewhere, and if we can get these presentations, if we can get the entire material from somewhere, how fantastic it will be. Isn't going to be very interesting? So, we are going to release a souvenir which contains all the written material, what we have listened today from morning till evening, of all the speakers. And not only today's, but it will also have material for all the lectures which are going to happen tomorrow. So this entire conference has been put into a souvenir book, which is going to be released now in the presence of all the wise people here. So may we request Niranjan Babuji to kindly open the souvenir book and release it. It's okay, it's okay. And for our day-to-day Vastu use, we are also releasing another book, a small booklet, which contains 108 Vastu tips for abundance and prosperity in your house. And these books will be given to you tomorrow morning. So when you are entering this place, you can collect your token, your souvenir and this book. Thank you so much.